Eric Lopez here as the UCF softball season is here. Coach Gillispie now joining me, Renee Luers-Gillispie now, and the season's right here. Can you believe it?
It is. We can't believe we're looking on Friday as our first games against Ohio State. It's really exciting to be able to finally have the game and the season here.
It's a young team, but let's start with the senior, Natalie Landback. She'll be playing shortstop this year, first team all-conference last couple years in CUSA, preseason this season, can do it all. It's just hard to believe she's just a senior.
She is. I wish she wasn't. I mean, we had so much fun with her the last 4 years and realized that this is her last season. But she's broken so many records for us and done so much for us this season that we're looking to have a great year with Natalie. And with Vanessa in center field, those two are kind of our anchors on our senior spots this year.
How important is their leadership? It's a very young team, which we'll get into. It's a brand new team. Pitching staff's young, a lot of freshmen, maybe one of the most freshmen you've had in your team in a while, hasn't it?
It is. It's actually the largest recruiting class we've had probably since our first season here. A lot of young players, like you mentioned. Having the middles with Natalie at shortstop and Vanessa in center field is huge for us as that leadership role. And we're filling in with a lot of freshmen around, and we're looking at freshmen at third base, a freshman in left field. We have Tani also in right field that's kind of anchoring that corner too, and with her communication and her expertise, that's going to definitely help out with having those three seniors out there as our key players.
And you mentioned Tani, she'll be at right field, the outfield. You got Vanessa, so you got two seniors in the outfield. That's going to be big from a communication standpoint. You got Novak and one of the freshmen from Claremont at left field, very fast in the outfield.
She's extremely fast. Some of the catchers are laughing in her practices because they say that their goal this year is to throw her out during practice. She's bringing a lot of speed and a lot of experience with her. She can play pretty much any position. She's played short, second, and we're kind of anchoring out in left field right now because of her speed, and it's really going to anchor our outfield, like you said, with the two seniors and kind of helping her out as a freshman. But there's a lot of speed in the outfield this year, and we're pretty excited about that.
One of the big questions, obviously, Abby McLean's moved on, graduated, great career, behind the plate at catcher. That's got to be one of the questions is how do you do at catcher?
Well, right now we're looking at Alina Murgatroyd. She's a transfer from Antelope Valley Community College. I saw her as a junior and senior in high school as a catcher, but she actually went to Antelope Valley as a shortstop, and she was actually came into us as an All-American shortstop. Now with Natalie at shortstop, we really needed a catcher, and so Lena's taking that role in again. And as a junior, she's going to do a good job of being able to support our pitching and the battery that we have. So I see her as being one of the upperclassmen that's going to help out on the field.
Chris, you mentioned a young team. We have a Barrow back on the team. It's been nice. Of course, we had Hillary Barrow, part of the 08 USA Championship team, and as well as the NCAA at-large team in 2010. Her sister is now on the team. Tell us about her.
Yes, Haley is. I tell you, it doesn't seem like we even lost Hillary because they're so much alike, and the personalities. They just love this game. They've got so much knowledge and enjoy this game so much that you see it the way they play. Hillary's little sister Haley now is coming in, and Haley actually said that she's a better athlete than Hillary. So we'll have to see if she can win some of those marks that Hillary's had here over the last few years. But she's working on getting a little bit healthier right now, and once she gets fully functioned, we're looking at her probably at third base. She will probably look a little bit time behind the plate too. She's been working with our pitchers on catching this year too, so she's going to have a dual role this year as a freshman.
You mentioned pitching, very young, all new pitching staff. The buzz, of course, the players talking to the players. Mackenzie Audis, freshman. A lot of excitement over her. You got some nice mixture, though. A lot of potential in this pitching staff that people are very excited about, even though they're young.
We do. Mackenzie's coming in with a great experience out of Plant City. She reminds you. We talked a little bit of her. Remind you of Allison Kime. You know, she went to Casey Clark as a pitching coach, and they had the same technique and the same determination when they were on the mound. And we're really looking for great things out of her on a lot of wins this year. But then also behind her, two juniors. We have Alex Hartshorn that transferred in from Hillsborough Community College, and then Allie that actually comes in as a senior. She's actually one of our seniors, but transferred in as a senior. And she's probably going to see the number 2 role with Mackenzie, so they'll probably be looking at switching games, and Alex coming in for relief. Then we have Haley Baracco that also came in as a walk-on player that can play a lot of different positions, but she pitches. So we're looking at her eating up some innings for us also.
With such a young pitching staff with potential, how is that going to? It's usually you have that veteran that's pitched in games before, but this is brand new for most of them. How do you handle that early in the non-conference season here?
Well, I think since we have 3 transfers, I think those juniors have that experience, not at the Division I level, but at the JC level. So it'll be a little bit easier transition for them. With Mackenzie being a freshman, she'll take some time to kind of get a feel for the speed of the game and having confidence in her teammates, knowing that she's got a great defense behind her and she can relax a little bit knowing that they're going to take care of the ball if she puts it in play. So it'll take a little bit of time for her to settle in, but she just has such a great presence when she's on the mound. I don't think she'll have any problem this year.
Of course, you have another tough schedule once again. We opened in Claremont. We were there 2 years ago. UCF knocked off Tennessee. Great win there. Really, I thought jump-started that season. Ashley Cole pitched a great game. Marissa Menendez, a freshman at the time, got the big hit in that 7th inning, come from behind win. And really, it gave Cole the confidence to have that big monster senior year, and it gave that team confidence all the way to an NCAA tournament. You open with Ohio State. You've got Chattanooga in the tournament. You've got Bethune. Is this you're hoping for a similar feel here, where a team like Ohio State was down last year, but a perennial NCAA tournament team out of the Big Ten, and
right.
Chattanooga's an NCAA team. We played them a couple years ago. They're very good as well. Not an easy tournament, but you're going to learn a lot about yourself.
We will, and that's what the first tournament in the season is all about, is getting at least a base to start off with, see how our players handle the kind of pressure that we're going to see with Ohio State and Chattanooga and Florida A&M and Bethune. It's a good place to start, and it's close to home, so we're not having to do a lot of big travel the first weekend, but it'll give us a chance to just kind of get a feel for where we are as a team and hopefully come out with 4 big wins. I told the girls, I said, our goal has to be coming out 4-0 in this weekend. We get a good start and a good step up to going into the San Diego tournament the following weekend. And we've got some unbelievable competition out there. So this is a weekend to kind of get settled in, kind of get our feet on the ground and really be able to trust in each other. As we go out to San Diego and we're playing UCLA and University of Washington and Oregon State. We've got Cal Davis out there and San Diego State. That's going to be a really tough outing for us. But that's what we want. We want our girls to be in that kind of situation and be able to go against those kind of players and be able to compete at that level and realize where they need to be before we get into our conference play.
And that's the thing what's so exciting about this program is you're playing a national schedule. That's what people don't realize. UCLA, Washington, 2 of the perennial powers, national champion programs out of the big Pac-12, the great best conference in college softball. You got those powerhouse programs. You've got Florida coming in here again this year. Coming to UCF is going to be another, probably close to another sellout. Again, it's going to be nationally televised on Bright House. We're going up to Tallahassee to play Florida State. That's always exciting. Last year came down to the last at-bat here, one of the exciting games of the season. It's just an unbelievable non-conference schedule that gets your team prepared, and obviously from an RPI standpoint, it's huge. And but it's a great message to any kid. That's why they come to UCF to play the best, isn't it?
That's right, exactly right. We don't back down from anybody. Our whole goal is to be able to be in the top 25 every year, and we work towards that. But we have to play against that level of competition and know where we need to go. We've been there before. We just have to be consistent with getting there year in, year out. And I think this is the team to do it with the young players that we just talked about. Those are going to be the kids that are going to be able to maintain that kind of competitiveness from the year on out.
Conference USA is always one of the top conferences. No different this year. You got Tulsa is obviously a team that's been in the preseason top 25 in certain polls. They got Amy Krager back. Houston's very good. They were a super regional team last year. They got some pitching questions they got to return. UAB, we knocked off in the Conference USA tournament. They got most everybody back. East Carolina, they begin life without Tony Paisley. We're young. Memphis has got Carly Hummel. I mean, top to bottom, this conference just keeps getting tougher and tougher every year.
It does, but this year it's exciting because everyone's kind of in the same boat right now. Everyone's lost a lot of seniors and some key pitchers like you talked about, and it's basically anybody's game this year. We were ranked in the 6th spot preseason, and we kind of look at that saying that's all right because we're going to prove that we deserve to be higher up in that ranking than in 6th spot. It kind of gives us a little motivation to prove ourselves and to get out there and show Conference USA that we restacked our team and we're ready to go.
What are a couple keys that you think this season or early on you want to see from your team that needs to get better to get to that level? What are a couple keys you think are going to be as you move on here to get to
probably consistency at the plate. We talked a lot about that. We have good hitters, but being able to be consistent and really be heads up about the situation, how to move runners, how to work as a team. Defensively, we're doing a lot of moving around and a lot of freshmen and a lot of players that can play several different positions. So we've been doing a lot of mixing around, probably more than we've had in the past. But it's going to give us a great depth in our infield and outfield right now because we've got so many people who can play backup in a lot of different positions. But it's settling that in, settling our defense, knowing who our starting nine is going to be, being able to settle into that and realize that we can now relax and really focus on taking care of business when we're out there. Because right now we're still kind of talking the game and kind of working through it. When we get out there and we play our first game, we're able to just relax, enjoy the moment, and play hard. And that's the goal we want to reach out this weekend.
And you got a deeper roster this year than last year. We were banged up with a lot of injuries last season. I mean, you literally had nobody to go to on the bench from a pinch running standpoint. That's how bad the injuries were last year. This year you got more depth. That's got to be exciting.
We do. We actually brought in more players because of that. It was a very tough year last year with only having 10 to finish the season out with. So we brought in 20, and we're still down to 16 playable, players that can really find a spot in there, and 4 of those are pitchers. So we're still, we're still not the numbers that we want to be, but we're a lot better off than we were last year. And I would say the overall, as far as the strength of our program, is one of the stronger teams we've had at UCF. Everything from our pitching to our hitting to our defense, I think we have a stronger core of players this year than we've had in the past.
Last question for you. You just recently had a great golf tournament, the Gary Sheffield tournament, supported the program. That was great. Johnny Damon was out there. Many people, big success. Just talk about that and how exciting that was.
Well, it was so much fun for us coaches because this was the first golf tournament we had for softball, and it brought in almost $8,000 for our trip to San Diego, which was our goal to be able to pay for that trip. But we just had a great time. I mean, everybody that came down there, they had smiles on their faces. Our girls were out there meeting and greeting everybody. Tuscaloosa Country Club just did a fantastic job on getting the banquet hall ready to go, and they had the registration was a breeze. It was just a great time, and you couldn't ask for a nicer day. It was about 78 degrees and just a light breeze, and it was just a perfect day for the whole thing. So we're looking forward to doing it next year, probably the same time, the last weekend in January, and we're hoping we get more out. We had about 70 golfers this time. We're hoping to maybe double that next year. And just enjoyed it. So I hope we can do that every year and make that an annual event for us.
Well, congrats on that great success in the golf tournament. Good luck this season, Coach. Head Coach Renee Luers-Gillispie. Reminder, you can check out the audio broadcast up from Claremont this weekend on UCFathletics.com. It'll be on All Access. You have every home game will be telecast, watched. You can just make sure you're an All Access subscriber and get all the details on UCFathletics.com as to watch all the games as well as to come out for all the home games with UCF softball. For Head Coach Renee Luers-Gillispie, I'm Eric Lopez, and this is the UCF softball season preview.